Hey there, what's up guys? My name is Amir and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be talking about Azure resources, resource groups, and Azure Resource Manager. I'll also be trying to cover a little bit of benefits and usage of these core components. Speaking of resources, when you're using Azure, you might be purchasing a lot of services, and each of these services like SQL database, virtual machine, or a storage account, they are nothing but they are resources. So each of these products in Azure are nothing but objects which are used to manage the services in Azure. And each of these resources, they have their own properties like name, the location, and some other configuration. Like for SQL database, you might have the SQL server name and the location of the SQL database. These properties and values of the resource then can be represented in a JSON file also called as ARM template. So ARM template is something that you'll be hearing a lot in this entire series. The next thing in the agenda is resource group. Speaking about resource group is nothing but a logical container for your resources. And there are a few things that you need to keep in mind. Whenever you are creating a resource, you cannot create it without a resource group. Resource group cannot be nested. That means if you have one resource group, you cannot create another resource group within this resource group. You have to create different resource group always. Resources cannot be moved between resource groups. So once you create a resource, you clearly cannot move it into a different resource group. The bigger question that people really have is how to group these Azure resources together. It completely depends. Now, in some cases, the resources are grouped by environment or the development life cycle. So you might have one resource group for development, the other one for acceptance, and finally the one for production. Similarly, you can also group them by services. Let's say if you have multiple databases or multiple storage accounts, you might logically group the database into one resource group and then the storage into one resource group. Similarly, you can also have a resource group which is based out of a solution. By solution, I mean you have a use case and a desired output expected out of that use case. Resource group can also be created based on access and costing, and in some cases, a lot of cases that I've seen is that resource groups are also created based on location. Speaking about the next topic, which is Azure Resource Manager. So Azure Resource Manager is nothing but a centralized service which is to govern all the services or resources in Azure. Whenever you're creating a resource, it actually is created or taken care by the Azure Resource Manager. When you're working on Azure, you might be able to create these resources via the portal, via REST API, using PowerShell or the command line interface, and there are a lot of different SDKs. You can even create a resource using Python. Thank you for watching the video. I really hope you like it. If you want more such videos, do subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon. Also, if you want more updates whenever I'm coming up with a video, you can follow me on Twitter. Catch you guys in the next one.